Welcome to Collecting Consciousness, where we aim to capture the ever-expanding and evolving conscious creations that originate from the minds of fellow podcasters, strangers, dear friends, and loved ones.
In this podcast, we will expand on our inner wisdom and a coming home to self. From our conscious minds to yours, we welcome you to the Collecting Consciousness.
Welcome back to another episode of Collecting Consciousness. And today is our wrap-up episode. So I really sincerely hope that you have taken the time to listen to at least one, if not maybe more. I think there is in total 8 episodes of our Burlesque series. And I sincerely mean that. It was such a beautiful series. And in preparation for this episode, I listened back, and I think Courtney did as well, listened to all 8 episodes. And I just have to say in opening this that I am so proud and I am so grateful that all of those individuals showed up and shared so authentically, really just such tender pieces of themselves in their journey of the burlesque, in the journey of the burlesque. I'm not sure what I want to say.
Realm
Travels. And so, yeah, it was just truly an honor. So if anybody that we interviewed is listening to this, I just want you to know that I'm really grateful and comes from the deepest part of my heart, because that definitely, there was so much richness in every episode. Truly, it was just so amazing to listen back and hear just truly how vulnerable everybody was. I think we were so in it that I didn't realize, like, wow, there's so much depth here. And that kind of leads me into the reason we did the podcast series, was that I really felt after my first exposure in the burlesque, to go to the burlesque show, my first exposure, I felt that. I felt that depth. I felt like there is a lot here. Like, whoa, you just don't do this. And like, and just be surface level, going through that world. I don't believe. And it turned out it was true. There's so much healing that took place for every single person. And I guess we'll start there with one of the, I think, the main common threads that we found. So this episode, we're just going to weave together the fabric of what I was feeling into when I saw this burlesque performance, this like fabric of growth, of discovery, of acceptance, of all these things. I mean, there's so much to it. It's a rich fabric. It's a really rich fabric. So me and Courtney, we're gonna weave together the common threads that we found after listening back to all 8 episodes, and the common threads that exist between each and every person we interviewed, and probably extends into the rest of the burlesque community. We just didn't get a chance to interview all those people. So yeah, my first thread that I would say is that the stage, and in our first episode, or sorry, episode 41, Shady Sugar, she really coined it perfectly. The stage is medicine. And I really feel, you can listen back to her episode to hear the real depth of her medicine on the stage, which I thought was just so potent and beautiful. And everybody, though, there is medicine to be received in the form of healing, in the form of growth, in the form of pushing yourself to your edge and going further. Like every single person like starts out with like this little like inkling of what they want to be or do, and it's like they're constantly pushing that edge. And I just found that
elevation.
Yeah. Oh, it's just beautiful. I'm like, that is, we don't often get those opportunities unless you're put into those situations, those pressure cookers in life. If you just, travel your everyday, I guess if you're just doing your everyday life, you're going in and out of, your normal flow of life. Like you don't always get those opportunities to really push yourself and grow in those magnitudes that I think you do when you're doing something like burlesque. Yeah. Go Courtney.
Well, and it's like, so there is a new and up and coming burlesque performer. I'm going to shout out her name. Her name is Sativa Stardust. You can follow her on
Ooh.
Instagram. Her name is Sam. Hey Sam, a little shout out to you. But that's what I was just hanging out with the burlesque crowd this past weekend, and she had mentioned Shady Sugar's episode of like how much it hit home for her, how raw, and the medicine that she received from it, from that, just like from Shady sharing her story of like her sobriety, the medicine that it gives, and it just like really made Sativa just like sit in deep reflection. And to
Mhm.
top onto that medicine from like, and I've been saying this to Sam, this is personal experience. I said, just take note after your first performance, see how you're different days after. And because it truly is a deep medicine, like even just my last performance couple like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, I had a big medicine. And one thing for myself is that sometimes I can struggle to stand up for myself, and I ended up having to stand up to myself a couple of times after the show. And that was from to me that was from the medicine. That was me gaining new elevation, new wisdom of who I am, shedding, putting yourself out there, being on the stage, letting your rawness come out, and just watch yourself after. You're not the same.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
like that's the medicine. That is the medicine.
Mm-hmm. No, it is. It's like the little, it's like every time you go on stage, it's almost like going back in the cocoon and becoming another
Yeah.
butterfly, like another version of
Yeah.
yourself, like another, I feel, I mean, I don't know, I've never done it before, but this is what I've gathered from,
Right.
yeah, I'm like, I'm definitely have never done that. So I don't know, but what I felt and what I heard is that that is what happens for everyone. Like, yeah, who you are before and who you are after. It's just, and it's a constant, it sounds to me like it's a constant evolution of
It is.
being, really.
Yeah, well, and
Um,
like to quote Amber Oleander, like me and her were just like elevation,
mhm.
like the show back in February. We if someone would say something, and we would just like look at each other from afar and be like, elevation, dude, because it really is like it is like I think I can't word it right, but you just said it really beautifully. But talking about how it's a magnitude. It happens in a much grander type of experience because you're like boom. It's like when you put a blind spot on something, we are fast forwarding that transformation. So
Mhm.
it's like really put yourself out there and get very intentional, even more intentional, and like watch yourself cocoon transformation in a blink of an eye.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, yeah, I felt that, and even, in like, so Amber Oleander was episode 43. I'm going to try to get you guys the episode numbers so you can go back and listen to them. And then we did, Seesaw, which was episode 45. What I loved about her process is that it spoke to me, and it might speak to a lot of women out there, or even men, I don't know, who identifies when they look in the mirror and judge themselves, who
Mhm.
can relate to that. But I think a lot of people do. And what I loved about Seesaw is that she very vulnerably shared that, when she first was looking at the pictures after the performances, it was really hard for her at first. And it was like, and that was a potent opportunity for her to, instead of continuing down the path of negative self-talk, self-hatred, you know judgment, whatever you want to call it, she chose that she chose to have an opportunity to learn to love herself again, and to learn to love the skin that she's in, and to learn, because she's an older burlesque performer, and she's also gone through a lot of physical transformations, being a little bit older than she used to be. And so she took that opportunity and I think that's also like a testament to who you are as a person, like whether you take those opportunities to grow and
Right.
to love, or you just get stuck in that icky feeling and
The
maybe you never
choices.
step back on stage again. But it's so beautiful. I feel that everybody we interviewed just had this veracity to like want to be better, to want to like
Yeah.
grow and and look at those shadows or look at those like uncomfortable things. Like I feel like everybody had that veracity to want that, which
100%.
is really interesting. A thread I didn't really pick up on. That's a finer one that I'm like, I
I
didn't
love
really pick
that.
up on that.
Yes.
Everybody has this desire because you have to have the desire to want to look at the things, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also the getting back up, and the little micro mess ups we have don't define, like, what I've noticed is that those little micro mess ups don't define anybody. And at first, our first inkling may have been to be like, "Oh fuck, we just messed up." But then it's like, "No, roll with it. That's the improv. That's the
Mm-hmm.
the going with the flow." And the art is just showing people that, like, you're perfectly imperfect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sea salt really, so sea salt just performed in the duality theatrical review that we had just done a few weeks ago. And just of who sea salt is, she had people crying. Like, she had a lot of great feedback from others. I had my friends reach out to me about sea salt, and like her sharing her story, and it's her showing little young Michelle to sea salt who she is now, and
Mm-hmm.
the hardship. And she talks about that whole story of like feeling those insecurities, but pushing yourself. And she has been a force that has been challenging societal norms for a long time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's been a deep wisdom in her. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever like thought of myself in like age bracket type of deals, but she has really, like, when she saw her kids doing something, she's like, this makes me want to do this. And she
Mm-hmm.
puts herself out there, and she like was doing all the getting her black belt, and then going into bodybuilding, and then starting her
Yeah.
burlesque career, just like all these wonderful things, all these like courageous,
Mm-hmm.
strong things. And seeing like seeing seeing her insecurities, but knowing that she can still do it,
Mm-hmm.
it's very powerful. And
Mm-hmm.
people see that, and they feel that from her. And it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful to let that rawness out.
Yeah, absolutely. She's just sending out those bolts of inspiration too. And it's like if anybody's listening to this that maybe you're sitting there thinking, oh, I could like, like I'm not that person, or I hope this lands for you in a place of inspiration and you maybe think twice the next time that you shy away from something that could help you grow. You think of these burlesque performers, or you think of what we're saying and how powerful it is, and you just take it and you say, actually, there's something for me to learn here and grow from. So I'm gonna do it because I know that there's eight other people that are out there doing it, at least like
And to
there's more.
speak on you saying doing it, and like to get out there, that's another thread that was found. And shout out to Sativa Stardust. She was like, every single one of us said, do it, try
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, even if it's not your journey, like, we were all like, if you want to come, we will welcome you. If you want to try it, try it. Maybe it will land, maybe it won't land, but it's that support,
Hmm.
that like welcoming energy. Cause like not everything is a welcoming energy, but, but with us, we were the community, and this can lead into that like second common thread,
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
support of the community, the support of each and every one of us. It's like, and like the support of the studio in Moncton, the pole studio, we are all a collaborative effort, trying to promote, trying to support one another, trying to let each other know that you are safe to be seen here.
Hmm.
Every single person, like, going into that green room, just a welcoming energy, everybody curious, everybody like, you're feeling like you don't know how to do something, three people are telling you how to do something. The support is there.
Yeah, that was definitely another common thread was that it's just a community that everybody feels seen in, and that there's no competition and there's no judgment, and that anything goes and everything is loved, it feels like. And even I think what was cool is that like you're speaking to, Moncton specifically, like the community that you know, but then I think even when we talked to Sugar Lestrange in episode 47, she is out in the big city of Vancouver.
Vancouver.
And I think even though and if you all listen to that episode, you'll get a different flair for like what the burlesque world is in a big city. Like it's
Right.
it seems like there's competition, but at the same time, it seems like it's still, when you look at the big picture, it's still such an accepting community. Like any idea that you want to birth can come to
Do
life.
it.
Like,
Well, and she even said, she was like, there's so many shows happening and you're like trying to go see all your friends and like sometimes you just can't go to it. So that
yeah,
right there is showing the support
yeah,
that people are going to these shows, that people are wanting, even knowing that it is a grander scale, that but there's more opportunities, but also put your name in there. And if you get accepted, you're fucking in it.
yeah, yeah.
Actually, she just apparently just had just said at the Atlantic Burlesque Festival, she just did her performance with I'm not sure who she performed with, but she had mentioned that they were doing the ping pong
Uh-huh.
the ping pong skit, and Jacinda said it was amazing. And she also said like, uh her Sugar's partner was in the States, so like they were just doing this, creating
Oh,
this virtually.
oh
So
wow.
when they got to Halifax just last month, that was the first time they ever did it, and apparently it was so awesome,
Oh my
so
God.
clever, so funny, so cool.
Cool.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome. That's awesome.
yeah.
So it's
And
like
I think
anything goes. Yeah.
anything goes, and it's like we're all meant to inspire each other. You're meant to be your own inspiration as well, but it's like you see little things in this person, you're like, oh, cool, gives you a new idea. Like when you can just open yourself to that inspiration, open yourself to like, oh, this is their shine, love on that, and then like
Mhm.
see how they inspire you. Because like so
Mhm.
much inspiration from, the courage of speaking up of your rawness, or the courage, or just the beauty of your dance, like the way
Mhm.
you dance, like it is so inspirational.
Yeah, totally. Your expression. Yeah, your unique
Yeah,
expression.
yeah, yeah. The unique expression, and there's a thread there.
Yeah.
The I am my own muse. That
Mhm.
is again Amber Oleander. But like that's how I feel. I know how Cayenne Pepper, Shady, like all of us, every one of them, Pinky
Mhm.
Promise,
Mhm.
like Roxy, Rocky Quartz, like holy moly, like we're all just different little beings,
Mhm.
all different creative expressionists coming forward and being our own muse, like just go to the mirror and just watch the way you dance and you'll see your own unique art come forward.
Mm. Oh, that's fun. Yeah. From your
Yeah, and
favorite
like that,
song. Mhm.
yeah, I just like know like that's how all of us are doing it.
Uh-huh.
Like we all have, a lot of us have that dance background, but it truly is just everybody's been connecting to their own selves.
Yeah. Well, I will say that was another thread
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I connected because I was very curious.
of
Like,
the dancer
did I
background.
cut you off from saying something? Did I cut you
No,
off?
no, 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 no. You're good.
Yeah, I was like sitting there. I was like, okay, so did these people like, do they have like theater or dance
The
or
adder.
theater? Did they? I was gonna gloss over that
Yeah, no,
one.
no, no. I wanted to bring it forward.
Anyways, so yeah, when I was watching them, I was like, man, I mean, they must have done something along those lines because I mean, everything is like most performances were very beautifully choreographed and like or theatrical or whatever. So I was like,
Yeah.
that has to be something that isn't. So I was very curious about that with everybody, and I did ask everybody that question, and pretty well everybody that when I listened back had some form of either danced their whole lives, danced a
Hmm.
little, been out of touch with dance for 10 years, but now this is like their new form of dance expression. So everybody had
Right.
that. Definitely everybody, that was like a common thread of everybody was that they had that bit of exposure that maybe
Yeah.
was a
It was a spark. Yeah.
familiar thing inside of them, like, oh yeah, like that's like what I used to do, but like way more free and
Right.
cool, like this is
Yeah.
the new version of dance as a child, kind of thing.
And it feels like it's like that coming back home, because like there were some that were in dance where it is more structured, it is more like you have to do it this way, but as we've aged, that creative expression, that inner muse comes forward. Like the more you get to know yourself, I mean, the more you like tune in, the more you're getting to know yourself, and you're seeing the way you are. And so I feel like burlesque is a liberation,
Mm, mm,
or it's a liberation from that past
mhm,
of the cheerleading, of the jazz tap, blah blah blah.
mhm.
Burlesque is back to what you said. Anything goes.
Yeah,
Anything goes.
yeah, that's a good way to put it. I love that. It's a liberation. Burlesque is a
Yeah.
liberation. Yeah,
And like
that's
to
great.
lead into that, burlesque is a liberation. It's a rebellion. Like it is meant to be uh, breaking down those societal norms. So it's like not just a liberation of self; it's a liberation of society. It's a liberation of programming. It is literally like, even uh, you know people not knowing, going to burlesque shows, and you think it's maybe going to be like Moulin Rouge, can dancing
Mhm.
type of deal, and then so many people are shocked
Yeah.
because it's so fucking layered.
Mhm.
It's so layered, but it's a liberation of X, Y, and Z.
Yep. Yep. And and when you're watching the show, you're like facing as an audience member, there's parts of you that will be triggered and that, and I think that was the fun part for me. It was just like
Yeah.
feeling those triggers or feeling that like, Amber Oleander, she's definitely I would like everybody go listen to her episode. It's great. I mean, she has just got a very I want to say dark, but I want to say dark. I want to say it's like this,
The
it's this
Duke, seductive.
out of touch side to most of us, like that how we're
Mm.
raised like good girl, like
Well, she's
you're
complex.
cute.
She's a complex person, like very layered. Like she wants you to be thinking outside
Yeah,
of the box.
yeah,
So like, and that's where I think like that's how I feel with her performances, is that she is going way outside the box and
yeah.
she wants you to feel uncomfortable. She
Hmm.
wants you to feel the things, to strike up to create what is the concept that she's trying to perform through this act,
Hmm.
because it's
Yeah,
layered, it's very deep.
yeah, yeah. It is, and so yeah. So I mean, going back to it all, like it's yeah. I mean, being an audience member is growth as well. So I mean, go check out a burlesque performance if you want to go get some
Well,
growth in your life. Yeah.
and to lean them to like go check out a burlesque show, this could be like a thread, is that there had been a few burlesque performers that never had been on stage before and went to a show and immediately felt that stirring, like, how do I get up on stage, how can I do this, like that was
No, that's a
so.
definite thread. Definite
That's a
thread.
definite thread. And
Yeah.
then also, like, to tack on to that, viewers, like, if there is that little inkling of yourself, go see a show, and maybe that same feeling will come forward for you.
Yeah. Yeah. That was definitely a thread that I picked up on with everybody. Most everybody had either been invited to a show or somehow seen a show and was like, I need to get on stage. I need to do that. Yeah.
With people going to these performances, it was like Gigo Bear, we had Amber Oleander. I believe Shady also went to a show and was like, holy fuck, I need to do this.
Pink
Yeah.
Promise. Um,
Yeah.
um, I believe
Rock, I'm curious.
Shady Sugar.
Yeah, Shady did. Yeah, yeah.
Rocky Ports got like kind of recruited like you, where it was like
That's right.
you guys were
That's
like
right.
kind
That's
of
right.
talent recruitment.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Right
most
there. Right. Yeah. Right there was a thread where people seen it, and it's like it's a powerful force. I mean, even you going, and then that's
Mhm.
what, like, now you're gonna be being a stagehand and
Yeah,
in like in the Christmas show, and who
dipping my
knows.
toes.
Well, you're gonna dip your toes, and who knows what may come from that for you on just being being a stagehand. And is that gonna, because you got a dancer in you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
back from
Yeah.
young little Biff. We should put do a sizzle reel for yourself and put your picture up.
Yeah, my favorite dance outfit. I should recreate that outfit. I loved that outfit.
Good. You should,
Oh my
honestly.
God.
That would be so fun. Actually, it's the recreation. I just want to touch on that. I think that's a cool thing. That was it's Pinky Promise had done her first show,
Hmm.
and then she elevated it at her last show. So it is just going back to like that elevation thread. It's
Yeah.
the more you show up and the more you do, the more you create your art, the more you let out your raw, authentic self, the more you shed, the more elevation that comes. And it is really cool to have those things photographed or videoed to like see
Hmm.
that evolution that happens.
Yeah. To be honest, like sitting here right now, like there is that Leo inside of me that could totally go out and be a performer. But honestly, like there would be so much that I'd have to confront that I don't know if I'm ready for. Like for real. Like there would, so I don't know if I honestly am ready for that because I just know that that's what's on the other side of that. So I
Yeah,
like dipping my
yeah,
toes in. I really love the
totally.
community. I really love the community. I really love everybody that we got to interview and anybody that we didn't. I know I would love to just be around your presence and like
Mhm.
that, yeah, for all these reasons, because we're all there to grow and to be, um, liberated. And so, yeah, so I just know though, going on stage, yeah, it would be,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it'd be a
something.
lot. It'd be a lot I'd have to unpack. And so that would be cool when I'm ready to sign up for that journey.
Definitely. And also, just FYI, I was chatting with Jacinda Cayenne Pepper the other day, and she had mentioned that like maybe we could do like a smaller show at the studio where it's show like it's friends and family. It's much more
Hmm.
on a smaller scale. So if you're ever wanting to like dip your toes again
Yeah.
into something that's more private, more in, like yes, there's intimacy, but it's a private, very safe type of
Yeah.
space to do it. And like to talk a little bit more on just like the insecurities. We often, every conversation went there, that there was like fear, or there was self-doubts, or you see yourself and it's not how you thought it was. And
Mhm.
it's really courageous that we all do like, this is just people, like they're
Mhm.
we all, you look at somebody and we often can put people on pedestals and think that they've got it all figured out, but like everybody is battling some sort of insecurity or anxiety, a stress of some sort. And it was just really beautiful to hear everybody put themselves out there and share that rawness, that those insecurities. And so from my heart, thank you to everybody that came forward and shared that. Because what I like too is that oftentimes you'd hear somebody in the episode be like, I'm saying this to help people be courageous and do the things, but
Mhm.
this is also a like they also recognize, we all recognize when it was also a divine message for ourselves. Like as
Mhm.
much as we preach and share to show up and take care of yourself and work through your fears, it's it's a mirror. It's a mirror for where we're still not liberated, and but knowing that we can still do the hard thing, and no one's judging.
No.
So it's
No.
so it gives us an opportunity to shed through those fears, because we all have fears.
Yeah.
And the point is to acknowledge them, to see them, and to try and dip our toes and shift, because that's how you change those neural pathways. That's how you
Mhm.
grow. That's how the elevation comes, is by you putting yourself out there. And like, even just like the simplicity of the tights, like that make your legs look perfection, and then
Mhm.
you decide to not wear the tights this time.
Mhm.
From maybe showing your body hair,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that, for me, personal
Mhm.
experience, like, and I like my body hair, but I felt like, oh, is this going to be too much? And then everybody in the back room was like, no, you're good. And like, that is good, because it's just who I am. Thank you for tuning in to Collecting Consciousness.
We're so grateful that you've been on this journey with us so far.
And we look forward to seeing where we are going to expand, curate, and collect.
So if you haven't already liked, subscribed, or shared our content, and you feel called to do so, we would so deeply appreciate it. From our souls to your soul, and our hearts to your minds. We are collecting consciousness.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's a huge thread, is that everybody does have some sort of something, but they still challenge themselves, and it's still when they're trying to tell people to not be hard on themselves or it's also still a message for themselves, and witnessing and acknowledging, seeing that, being self-aware that as much as I'm saying this to you, this is for me.
Yeah. And I think what was so helpful about like doing the interviews was grounding that information in, just being like, yeah, what you might perceive of that world is actually true. Like I felt like every story, like you're saying, like it all just grounded that reality of like we're all just like perfectly imperfect. Like it just grounded it down. Like, yeah, we're all humans. We're not just these like healed
Barbie dolls.
yeah, getting on stage and we know, it just all was natural kind of thing. Like it was very real, like really, really raw and real. Every interview, every episode was really, came from a real raw place. Which is really
inspirational,
fun.
real inspirational.
Definitely, definitely. So yeah, those were actually a lot of the threads that I found.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think you hit like most of those threads. Yeah, like we went surface, I think, to the depth, the surface of like, yeah, I was a dancer, I was a theater kid, I was, cheerleader, to then I saw burlesque and I had this calling to be in it, and then once I'm in it, I'm like facing all these, growth opportunities ahead of me and really doing the work and the transformation. And using the stage as medicine, I think was like the deepest thread, which I felt like that was what I was most curious about. Because I was like, no,
oh man,
do you get on stage and all body types and feel like there's no way. I'm like there. I just
honestly,
I know how the human works.
Yes, and honestly, like when I went, because like Sativa started out, she was like, "Whew, like I'm, this is going to be her first ever performance. Like she's really stoked, but there's also that the nerves that come with it." And I was like, just you wait for that medicine, because it truly, truly, truly is so fucking potent. When you put your fucking raw soul out for people, that's, you're authentically being you. Oh, that's another thread too, is that and I did talk about it up, like the muse and stuff, but it is like when you're authentically you, your dance just comes out. So if you're a silly type of person, your dance may have that silly type of quirk. Maybe you have that real sexy type of nature. So it is like when you authentically just show up as yourself, there's really nothing to worry about, because you're just being you. You're just showing your art. You're just showing yourself, and then that's how that muse comes out. So yeah, I lost my train of thought there. That little tag team wanted to come in, but it's like the deep medicine. The medicine is truly like one of my favorite parts, because it's like, what new is going to come? What's going to be shed?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that I think is the most like deterring for me right now, is like I'm not ready. I'm not ready for all that medicine, because I know it's a lot of showing up. It's a lot, and that takes energy and that takes commitment, and so it just, if you want to do it fully, you know what I mean, kind of thing. So
Totally.
yeah.
Just, keep practicing in your mirror. Check your facial.
I will.
Do your little dance. See how you
I'll
dance.
get the stage hand.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I'll be
it's gonna be fun.
then I'll get my little like fire will get burning, and I'll be like, okay, maybe.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. But I think and if you guys haven't listened to the series and you're just like popping in for this episode, and you've made it to this point, please go listen to the series. Every single one of them is just dripping with so much goodness, richness,
Love.
wisdom,
Yeah.
love. Just
Self-love.
they were all so fun. I just loved all of
Yeah.
them. And yeah, biggest thank you again to everybody that showed up and shared. It was just such an honor. So thank you.
Yeah, back at you. I want to piggyback on that. To my burlesque performers, to my burlesque friends in the community, it's been a pleasure getting to know you on a deeper level. Shout out to Cayenne Pepper. She goes, every episode just made me cry. Getting to know the people. Getting, you know your people, but then you get to hear their story even deeper.
Yeah.
So it was so like it. I was even after when we finished, I was like, man, I want to continue doing this burlesque series. That would have to be like a separate thing. Oh, one thing I do want to also point out to Sugar Lestrange's episode, talking about knowing your burlesque, like
Mhm.
going into the richness of the history, knowing things. So that's what I've been doing. It's like, and like knowing your names, making sure that you're doing your research and not taking the same name as somebody in the city. Like it's layered. It is a layered type of topic. So that was really interesting to me, and it was cool because like I really love the Moulin Rouge, and there's this character there's a person, Toulouse, and he did all like the artwork for the Moulin Rouge, and I have one of his fucking pieces. And I was just like, oh, cool. And I wouldn't have known that if I didn't start studying my burlesque
Oh,
history.
cool. Cool.
So thank you, Sugar, for getting me to dive deeper into the craft.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, guys, it has been beyond a pleasure. It was so amazing to have you all show up in a very raw way. To the people that didn't get interviewed, you know, we know that your story is just as important and
Mhm.
potent. So feel free to reach out to us to just
Mhm.
share who you are. The burlesque series truly was something so deep. Thank you to Bethany for like seeing that and wanting to create that.
Yeah.
This was a very, very heartfelt
Mhm.
series. And again, I was like, after I'm just like, oh, we're not interviewing anybody anymore. Like that was a good solid 2 months of us just hearing each and
Yeah.
everyone's story. You guys showed up big time,
Yeah.
and I'm curious of what more elevation has come from your journeys thus far. So guys, thank you.
Yeah, and thanks, Court, for being in the world of burlesque. And
I love it.
we would never have the gateway if we didn't have you.
Listen.
So thank you for following your heart and to just
Yeah,
on your
fuck yeah.
expression. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you, because that would have never been
Yeah.
possible, and I would have never had
No.
gained the consciousness connection to that community. Like I would have never gained that,
Yeah.
and so I'm really grateful for that. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you to the divine connection that's out there, guys, collecting consciousness. There's a divinity out there. People, places, and things do not just come into your lives for no reason. They are mirrors for you to see where you're not liberated. They are mirrors for you to see where you've grown, where you've shifted. People, places, and things. I wouldn't have been in that burlesque series if I didn't make it to a party where I met Cayenne Pepper. And thank you, Nick, for also being that reach out for me to get into the community, because it truly, truly, Hurricane Rosa, thank you. It was a beautiful, like it's amazing, and we're not stopping. The burlesque
Yeah.
community is not stopping.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for the art of burlesque. And if you guys feel inclined, go see a show. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, so they can find that info at Talent NB.
MB, yeah, that's on
Okay.
Instagram.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then you can just reach out to, maybe you have found a favorite burlesque performer in the series. Follow them. They will be posting all the things as well.
Mhm.
Stay tuned for that art, because truly, each and every one of us has a deep, deep beauty of an art to showcase.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So,
absolutely. All right.
all right, guys. Well, that's the tie-up. That is the
Yeah.
tie-up of
Yeah.
our series. Again,
Yeah.
it was so awesome. Next episode is our 50th episode. So, whoop, that's some snap right there. We've been in it for over a year now,
Yeah.
and we have a fun little episode of what our 50th, just a little teaser. It's going to be something of reflection,
Mhm.
and the 50th episode is a monumental
Mhm.
facet. And Bethany and I have been doing this for over a year, so it's been so. I'm curious. I'm excited to dive into this episode because there's going to be some beautiful bits of wisdom for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it.
So
Love me.
I got one more thing. Got one
Okay,
more
what's
thing.
up? What's up?
So it's so now as we transition out of the burlesque series, it's going to be back into episodes of us recapping podcast episodes. It's going to be back to us just sharing life's experiences. It's going to be interviews still with people that we think have a potent message. We are collecting consciousness. We are here to share that wisdom. We are here to pull insights that we think will help you on your journey as it helps us on our journey. So we're gonna get back into our routine of how we like to show up.
Yeah. So if you want to be on here, if you know anybody that you think should be on here that you think would have a message to share, or just, just we're curious, like we're just curious minds. So we're down to
Yeah,
have any conversation, and just reach out to us on at Collecting Consciousness Podcast on Instagram. You could drop a comment in our YouTube videos if you wanted to. Any of them, we'll see them in our little back behind the scenes studio. We can see the comments. So reach out if you're wanting to be on here, if you know anybody that you think would like to be on here. But really, our Instagram is probably the easiest way to get a hold of us.
definitely. Yeah,
We are
100%.
open. We are open, and we love to have conversations. So yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
All
All right,
right.
guys, ending the burlesque series. It was a
Woo!
pleasure. Thanks,
Bruno.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you to the interviewees. You guys were awesome. And I know how much you all loved it because you shared it with me, and we loved it just as deeply. Like, it really was so
Hmm.
special to sit in conversation with everybody and just
Hmm.
hear the rawness of your story. So thank you again.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
All
Thank you.
right,
Thank
guys.
you. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.